Hey everybody, Gang is here back with another video. I hope you liked the video. If you do, make sure you should like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, man. Don't be a hater. Tap in with me, dog. Let's go.
And we start in Jefferson and Boulder counties, where police are investigating the murder of a 20-year-old driver. She was killed after someone was throwing rocks at her car. Other drivers were also hurt. Police say the victim was 20-year-old Alexa Bartel of Arvada. Bartel was on the phone with a friend at the time when the phone went quiet.
That friend tracked her location and then found her. It all happened last night. Investigators looking into at least 5 cases of rocks being thrown. The driver killed was on Indiana Street in Jefferson County.
Let's see. Well, I know most of the people that listen to me aren't from Colorado, but if you're from Colorado, this has absolutely dominated the news cycle for the last week. About a week ago, somebody threw a bunch of rocks, like river rocks or something like that. Well, it seemed that they were throwing them from moving cars at passing cars that were passing by. And a woman actually ended up losing her life. And so it's been all over the news that people are wondering, like, can you even drive around out here safely?
The friend literally drove to the location where it said that Alexa's phone was. And that is where she found Alexa's car off of Indiana down into a field.
Tire tracks show where the car left the road. An evidence marker was placed next to a rock.
This is absolutely devastating for this family. They lost their daughter last evening, and I can tell you that Jefferson County is throwing a lot of resources at this.
Yeah, and you know right there, you just heard what she said. She said Jefferson County is throwing a lot of resources at this. You know, whenever you commit a crime and then the police go on the air and they say we're throwing a lot of resources at this, it's going to be bad for you. So they've arrested 3 of these kids, right? And it looks like they arrested one of them's father as well. We've got the suspects Joseph Koenig, Zachary Kwak, and Nicholas Karol Chik. And it looks like they've also arrested Joseph's father, a man named Mark Koenig, for some sort of accessory crime or something like this. This is, I'll tell you what, they're charging them with first degree murder with extreme indifference. And if you don't know what extreme indifference is, there's two types of factors that can be considered whenever they sentence. Actually, there's probably more than 2, I shouldn't say, but there is 2 types that I'm going to discuss right now. There may be more. There's aggravating factors and mitigating factors, and these are factors that affect the sentence. They affect the ramifications of the sentence. In the state of Colorado, a mitigating factor would take, let's say you committed a crime, let's just say a class 3 felony, right? Class 3 felony by itself, like a felony theft, a nice, like felony theft over 15,000, I think, or something like that, is a nice class 3 felony. Non-violent, standard class 3 carries 4 to 12. Well, if you find a way to aggravate that class 3, the sentencing range then becomes double, right? So then becomes 8 to 24. So your sentencing range before was 4 to 12. Now your minimum is 8 and your maximum is 24. This is an aggravating factor, what they call an aggravating factor. A mitigating factor actually takes the bottom number. It usually doesn't do much to the top number, because they can still keep the top number. Let's say you were facing 4 to 12 and you had a mitigating factor, you would now be facing 2 to 12, right? It doesn't affect the top line number for some reason. It doesn't bring the top line number down. So they are charging them with first degree murder with extreme indifference. Now, I don't know what the point would be in that, other than to just, tack something on and make it have a harder position to, or a better position to argue from as far as the prosecutors are concerned. Because with this, they can actually argue like the death penalty. Now, Colorado will not try to give these kids the death penalty. All 3 of these kids are 18 years old. These kids are very young. I think they're all still in high school. Their names have been released, but they are still in high school. They drive by her, they throw the rock, it goes through her window, hits her in the face, right? She ends up getting hit in the head with it. Veers off the side of the road, and these dudes stop and take a picture. So this dude has a picture of it on his phone, right? One of these kids went to prom like 2 days later. 2-3 days later, he went to his prom. They said all of them kept attending high school, kept doing what they were doing. This is wild.
Took somebody's life. They've cost several victims.
Nathan Tipton was one of those victims, a rock hitting his driver's side door, just missing his windshield.
It's refortified my appreciation for life.
But cut Alexa Bartell short.
My family, our hearts go out to Alexa.
3 18-year-old suspects were arrested overnight Tuesday on a first-degree murder extreme indifference charge. They were identified as Nicholas Chik, Joseph Koenig, and Zachary Kwak. Their arrest affidavits painting a clear picture of what happened on April 19th. It all started in this Walmart parking lot off 72nd and Sheridan. Court docs say the suspects were picking up landscaping rocks from the edge of the parking lot and putting them in the backseat of the truck's cab. A fourth individual with the suspect said he knew something bad was going to happen, so he insisted they take him home. After dropping him off,
So we got one dude telling already. So that tells you right now they got one dude who's cooperating, because one dude knew what they were about to do, and he said, nope, I'm out of here. Right? Yeah, this is horrible. Can you imagine this? Could you imagine how it feels for the person who was on the phone? This dude was on the phone with, I think it's a guy. Actually, I'm not sure it's a guy. It may be a guy or a girl. But there was a guy that was bringing flowers to her to the site. But he's on the phone with this woman, and the phone goes dead while she's driving on the highway. Because the person who they were sharing the location with was able to jump in the car and immediately drive out there and find them. Like, it didn't take long. Went there right away, found them. It didn't say who it was. That's why I don't know if it's a guy or girl. But they went out there immediately. And I don't know, the only person I've ever shared my location with was like my girl, I think. You know what I mean? Like if I was trying to find her or something like that, wherever we were going, trying to meet her somewhere or something. Maybe it could have been somebody else, but that sounds to me. That sounds to me like you're going to meet somebody. You got your location on, but I could be wrong.
the affidavit states the suspects went on their rock throwing spree just after 10 p.m. They drove past and threw rocks at 7 moving vehicles within 45 minutes, including Tipton's car.
These boulders at 50 miles an hour each direction, that's a 120, 110 mile an hour impact. You know, it's fatal.
Minutes later, authorities say they struck and killed Bartell. Here's how some of this investigation was pieced together. Investigators requested a data dump from cell phone towers near these incidents that showed the location of all mobile devices that connected to them.
Man, that's their go-to these days for any sort of crime. Anything happens, man, it's your phone. You're hit, dude, pretty much anymore. They've got everybody tracked with something. You've got a smartwatch, you've got a smartphone, your car's smart. A lot of cars now have onboard computers and things like this, onboard computers that communicate with the satellite, and there's nothing you can do about it. They just do it naturally.
Investigators also obtained security footage of the suspect vehicle, a Chevy Silverado, which they linked to Chik. After arresting the suspects and conducting interviews, investigators learned that all 3 suspects threw rocks at vehicles at some point in the night. Kwak telling authorities they saw Bartell's vehicle leave the roadway before turning around to take a picture of the vehicle. When asked why, Kwak said he thought the other suspects would want it as a memento. The affidavit says the suspects met the next day to get their story straight about what happened.
They deserve 20-piece. Wesley says they need a 20-piece. He says he thinks that's appropriate. I can tell who's going to get the most time. Well, they said the little kid with the wild hair. They said the one that had the wild hair was the one that the neighbors were saying that they weren't surprised, that he had a history, that he had a history of this type of behavior, destructive. He had a history of destructive behavior, is what they said. Right? Who you think, Conrad? Who's gonna get the most time? I don't know. They arrested the one dude's dad though. The dude Koenig's dad. They arrested him for like obstruction. So I'm guessing that he didn't cooperate as much as they would have liked him to, or something like that. I believe that his son is the one who owned the truck. I think. The brown guy? The brown guy's last name is Kwak. So, I don't know how brown he is. What kind of last name is that? Kwak. Kwak. He looked like he may be Asian or something. Maybe. Zachary Kwak? That's what you thinking? They're saying Joseph Koenig. What I'm hearing is that Joseph Koenig is the wild one. He's the one pressing the line. He's the one pressing the issue. And that maybe it's Karol Chik. Yeah, but no, it's Koenig, Mark Koenig, and maybe his dad's wild too. Maybe that's part of the problem, because his dad is the one that they charged with obstruction, Joseph Koenig. That sucks. That's got to be, you're in a bad situation. His dad's in a bad situation anyway. What are you supposed to do? The whole state's looking for your kid. The whole state's pissed off at your kid. Man. That is rough, man. Rest in peace to this woman, man. This sucks. It really does suck.
There, he said, they picked up landscaping rocks and put them into the truck. He declined to go with him, telling investigators that Joseph Koenig frequently participates in destructive behavior and likes creating chaos. The witness added he knew something bad was going to.
You see what I mean? That tells me right there that that's who they're going to go after. That's who they're going to be pressing the line on right here.
And put them into the truck. He declined to go with him, telling investigators that Joseph Koenig frequently participates in destructive behavior and likes creating chaos.
So see, that's the dude who got out of the car. So that's not even one of his co-defendants, right? The dude who told him, no, I'm not going with you, take me home. He's telling, and he told them that. And that's what makes me believe that that's the dude that they're going to go after. Right? That tells me that that's who they're going to go after. And then they're probably going to go press the other two, and the other two will roll on him, right? Now, there's only one thing these dudes got going for them right now, right? There's actually two things. The first thing is it because high-profile cases like this take forever, right? So in the 2.5 years down the line, whenever these dudes actually get sentenced, it will be out of the public conscious. It'll be out of the public eye. So that'll be able to, being out of the public eye allows the district attorney to offer better deals, you know what I mean? Look at mitigating circumstances, things of this nature. The longer it takes, the generally better it is for the person who's being sentenced. But, so they've got that going for them, that it's going to take a long time, and that the media, the news cycle is very fast these days. So much goes on. Think about it. By the time these dudes are sentenced, we'll already be past the next election, right? So think about how much craziness we're going to go through, all the media and everything is going to go through by the time these dudes are actually sentenced. So time is always on your side, right? The longer you can draw it out. So they've got that going for them. And then they've got the fact that they're only 18. That they're still, and because they're still in high school, they can actually kind of argue, we're still children, right? Even though they're 18 years old, all three of them are 18 years old. That's why they're releasing their names. You know what I mean? So, that's the only mitigating circumstances I can see. The other ones, if the other ones roll on him, they'll still get it. They're still going to get a chunk. Yeah, I mean, Conrad says it's Jeffco, and you might be right, homie. Jeffco's kind of cold, dog. But they're really shying away from giving people that are really, really young life sentences anymore. They're really trying not to. I mean, 15 years ago, I would have agreed with you, Conrad, 100%. They'd be getting an elbow. That's it. You're done. These dudes, I wouldn't be surprised to see something like a natural life sentence or something like that, life with the possibility of parole, maybe. That wouldn't surprise me. Or they'll give the one dude life, they'll give the one dude an elbow, and they'll give the other two like 50. They'll give the ones who roll like 50 or 60. I've seen them do that too. They like to do that. Yeah, rest in peace to this woman, man. This sucks, man. Alexa Bartel is the woman's name. The family had a press conference that they had scheduled, but the cops were actually able to catch the people so fast that they were able to, because they were going to go on TV and say, hey, you know what I mean? We need to find these people, whatever, you know what I mean? Plea for help. So their family had a press conference, but they just ended up canceling it. They said the police did such a good job, man. And you heard what they said. They said the police requested a data dump, right? And you've seen that cell phone tower. They showed the picture of the cell phone tower. They said the police requested. That's how easy it is. Now, that's how easy it is for them to just zero in on what you, all I got to do is just ping and find out who's in the area. These are rural parts of the area, right? There's not going to be that many people in that area at that time period. And especially because her friend was on the phone with her and was able to go immediately and report the situation, right? So they get the data dump. They say, okay, well, this woman, you can tell her car was just running, right? Because dude just got there. Dude got there right away. He knows whenever he was talking to her. He has the ability to look in the phone and tell you whenever he was talking to her alive. So they can look back and say, well, she's only been deceased for 90 minutes. We've got a 90-minute window to check every camera in the area and all the cell phone data in the area. We only need to check this 90-minute window. It's a process of elimination, right? You check that 90-minute window and then you just start checking people off. You know, you go, okay, here's all the cars we have. Here's all the cell phone data we have. What about this person? Nope. Was this person on that highway? You know what I mean? Because it'll triangulate them in an area. Triangulation works in an area, right? It doesn't work on highways, but you can triangulate and say, okay, no, this person was over here. This person was over here. This person was over here. They weren't here, and you start eliminating people. And do that shit quick now. And then you're done.